I'm going to keep this video very short, and I'll keep this introduction even shorter. My name is Louis-Elias. I make a product. It's called Tibhelper. It lets you carry dumbbells with your feet so you can train your tibialis muscle and your hip flexor. But that's not what this video is about. This video is titled to entrepreneurs, and it's basically going to be a recollection of advice that I've been given by successful entrepreneurs, and it's going to serve as a reminder to me, and I'm hoping that those of you who haven't been exposed to this information will benefit from it in hearing it for the first time. So I have a few notes. First thing in my notes, it says, they're not your friends if they don't hustle with you. This is gained directly from Marquette Devon Burton. You can read his book. It's called The Black Box, where you can hear the story behind that. But I'll tell it to you through my story. So, like I said, I'm going to keep this short, so I'm going to skip out on a bunch of little details. But, my company, Tibhelper, if there's one thing that I've experienced in the years that I've been basically, running this company, is that when I first started, there was a lot of people that said, hey, I see what you're doing. They see the videos that I post. They say, hey, I see what you're doing. Yo, that's so cool. They might see a reel or a Snapchat short or whatever platform it is, and they say, oh, that looks so good. I really mess with what you do, man. And I've never once seen them in the likes. And it's not that I pathologically check the likes over and over and no, but when you have a small account, you can see all the likes that come in. Sometimes you get 4 likes on a post. Oftentimes it's single digits, it's low double digits, so you can see all the likes that come in. And it's just wild because people will say, oh, I really mess with what you do, I support you. And it's like, no, you said the words that you support me, but you don't support me, because that's not what support is. So you got to understand, if they're not hustling with you, that is, in my case, they're total strangers that I never met in person, that they like every single video that I post because they say, Dylan, I support you. Half of the times they don't even say that they support me. They just do it. They just show it through action. So, total strangers will do more in that area than acquaintances. Now, I'm lucky I have friends close to me that do actually support a lot of what I do. And, I'm even more blessed to have family that does support what I do. But I just say that to say, sometimes it really is the case that, the people that you would think would support because they're close to you, they say out of their mouths that they support you. It'll blow your mind, that they won't even like a video. It takes less than a second to like a video. They don't even have to watch it, but they know in their mind that that would help the algorithm. So to you entrepreneurs, you can keep your sanity and keep your peace by knowing this about how people are going to act. This will happen to you. A lot of my friends are entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, way more successful than me. Shout out to Preston. He made this watch with the canary diamonds. I will put the link in the bio. Shout out to Marquette, the MDB label shirt. I will put the link in the bio. Shout out to Isaiah, makes the Cuban link chain, and so I will link all of those. But this happens to everyone. It happens to everyone. So I say that as fair warning, So if you are going to get into entrepreneurship, or if you're going to be hustling something, just know that that will happen, and you can really maintain your peace, if you will, and your happiness, more importantly, if you just understand that is what's going to happen. The next thing I have in my notes is that some people do not matter. And that's a fact. Some people don't matter. I won't speak right now to whether I won't speak right now about whether they matter in life in general. But what I will say is that not all people matter to you, and not all people should matter to you. So don't force it to be that way, because it doesn't have to be that way. I was in the gym last night getting in work. Some of you know my goal is to make it to the 2028 Olympics and run in the 200-meter dash. So I'm training, as hard as I can for that, doing the best that I can with what I have. And as I'm in the gym yesterday, there's two football players. One of them has the goal of making it onto our college's football team. And the other one, if I'm not mistaken, I might be incorrect, but if I'm not mistaken, is already on the team. But he's just trying to take his game to another level. He's talking about the sacrifices that you have to make. Both of them were speaking about that. And, the one that's trying to make the team mentioned the fact that when he's doing sprints out in the field by himself, since he's not on the team, he felt self-conscious while he was doing the sprints. And we kind of spoke to him, and he explained that he came to the realization that it really doesn't matter what people think, when they see him, and the other football player and I doubled down on that. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. That embarrassment in the beginning, that's critical for your development. And I mean, it builds character, but then also you're building the skills, don't let people that are spectators, that have never tried to start a business, that have never tried to shoot for something amazing, in an athletic pursuit. Don't let those people distract you or make you feel any type of way. They actually don't matter. They literally don't matter. So that's all I really have for you guys in this video. I appreciate you taking out the time to listen to me, and yeah, take it easy.